yes, I'm happy to tell you that the cat does survive. I think that's a spoiler that nobody is really going to care if I tell you. I think it's hilarious in these types of disaster sci-fi movies. You have the protagonist and they have a pet that survives like the most catastrophic things happening. People are dying left, right, and center, and the animal always just manages to survive. Who cares about the humans as long as the animal survives? And this one does. So this is definitely not what you would call a light-hearted alien invasion movie. It's got heavy themes of sacrifice, people coming together in impending doom, and yeah, it's just a very heavy movie emotionally, and I didn't really expect that. And well, I guess I should have, considering the first two movies were like that as well, but to be honest, I've seen them only once when they were first out in cinemas, so I'm not that fresh on the franchise as a whole going into it. But yeah, this is definitely a heavy hitting movie. It actually made me cry at the end, and I am not a crier in movies. Except, I will admit, I remember the first time I saw Independence Day, the president's speech. If you know, you know. What is it about alien movies that just gets me going? So Lupita Nyong'o, I hope I'm saying that right, did a great job as the leading lady in this movie. She did a really good job of acting and of being a character that was strong but also flawed. She wasn't some perfect superhero killing aliens left, right, and center. She was strong and flawed, and I really liked that. And Joseph Quinn and her worked together well. They had a really heartwarming friendship in the movie. So is it just me, or does the creature in this really look like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things? And Stranger Things came out in 2016, and the first Quiet Place came out in 2018, so I don't know if there was some inspiration there. But yeah, I couldn't help but think Stranger Things every time I saw one of the creatures like open its head hole thingo. So I would say that this is the best movie in the franchise. And considering it's the third movie, that's a really rare thing. Look, I've got to admit I didn't really love the other two movies. I'm not saying that they were bad movies. They just weren't for me personally. And I felt like the universe as a whole was fascinating, but I wasn't connecting to the main characters. So this was perfect for me. A new cast, but with the same universe, sort of going back to the beginning. Seeing how it all began, I found really fascinating. So the use of sound in this I thought was really clever. Some of the things that the characters did to hide when they had to make noise was really well done. They had a few scenes that were quite tense. I feel like they could have built upon that a little bit more, but still I'm quite happy with what we got. And it was quite haunting visually seeing the city so empty, because normally, obviously, cities are a place where it's constant chaos, so seeing it in a state of absolute silence really added to that sort of just chilling atmosphere. And the bridge blow up scene, so it was in the trailer, no spoilers. It reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises, how they have to get them stuck on the island because New York City is basically an island. Well, it is an island, so they're stuck there. And you really feel for them when it happens. You're actually emotionally invested in these characters. And with these sort of sci-fi movies, I find that is a very hit and miss thing. But with this movie, yeah, you really do want them to survive. So it did drag a little bit in the second act. I felt like it was a little too consistent in being very heavy and emotional. I feel like a bit of humor, a bit more action to break that up would have been good. The ending was bittersweet. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I would say it's definitely worth going to see in the cinema. But be careful about having crunchy foods that make a lot of noise in this movie. Just letting you know, the person in front of me had a lot of crunchy chips and you could hear everything. Don't be that person. Anyway, I would say this is an 8 out of 10, so if you've seen it, let me know what you thought down below. Please subscribe, like, comment, all of that stuff. Thank you.